All right. Welcome to Sideboard MTG. My name's Eric, and we've got another of Deb's decks for you. And this one is Elves. So I know a lot of you wanted to see Deb's Elves, and he just recently come out with a Cats deck, and I do plan to play that one. I'm a big fan of the Cats deck. So if you want to make sure that you don't miss out when I play the Cats deck, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, notification bell, all of the other good things from YouTube. If you like the Elves deck, press that like button, give it a little bit of love, let some other people see the gameplay of the deck, and then of course, if you want to see the full deck tech on it, Dev's got a great deck tech. He breaks the deck down. The link is in the description box below. There should also be a little information icon like right up in here. Should be there already. So if you guys want to check out his deck tech, you can do that. I'm going to do a quick run over the deck. I'm going to try to keep that really quick, and then we're just going to kind of jump into some gameplay here. The land base is pretty straightforward. We've just got 20 forest. And then, of course, 3 Hash-Up Oasis. I mean, just a great pump spell. I mean, why shouldn't we run this? And then, of course, it's an Elves deck. Have to play the Land of War Elves. And because this is standard and we want to try to be competitive, there is the 4 copies of Stillleaf Champions. We do have that awesome opener, turn 2 Stillleaf Champion, get some. And then, of course, Blossoming Defense is the early, interaction to protect our creatures and stuff. Not a lot of flying in the deck. There's some Aether Sphere Harvesters to kind of fend off things like Glorybringer and, Nicol Bolas, things like that. Metallic Mimic. This is kind of was a weird inclusion for me, considering we are running the Vanquisher's banner, which is exactly what I wanted in an Elves deck, to be running the Vanquisher's banner. So I am happy that this is here. It just kind of, it was a little bit strange to me that the Metallic Mimic was the card of choice here. It does normally die fairly soon. And we seen in the deck we used yesterday for the Subscriber Sunday deck that there was a Kunjar. Kunjar will give you that +1, and it can come out down after the fact, which actually fits the curve of Land of War Elf much better. And it's a 1/2, and it does survive. But this has a lot more payoff in the end. So that's that. When you get to rolling with this, and you start playing, other elves and stuff like that, and you keep drawing cards off your Vanquisher's banner, the Metallic Mimic's going to be just absolutely ridiculous. But I do think that in the early game, I do like the Kajar better. So some of you guys might ask, like, why choose that? But Metallic Mimic's just got so much more payoff in the end. It's just gonna, wow, and then of course right now, I mean, you can't be playing Elves without the Elvish Clan Caller. Dev did talk about a line where you can turn 3 the Elvish Clan Caller, with the Metallic Mimic already down, and they'll kind of buff each other up and protect through that Goblin Chain Whirler, which is kind of like Elves' natural predator, right? Goblin Chain Whirler. And then of course, Thorn Lieutenant. We wouldn't be caught, sleeving up Elves without Thorn Lieutenant right now. Everyone's liking the Thorn Lieutenant. We're seeing this in a lot of decks. I've even seen some Teamer energy decks brewing with Thorn Lieutenant, guys. It might be back. Oh no. Will it return before the rotation? Teamer energy? Anyway, too soon? Too soon? Okay. Marwyn the Nurturer here. Man, awesome card. Love the art. I mean, come on. Look at that. Look at that. Beautiful art. Beautiful art. Anyway, Marwyn's just absolutely dominating card. Just all the mana you could possibly need. What's up, Boros, Rocker, Aiden? Man, we got a bunch of people here tonight. Rocker, how's it going? It's an early way to get counters for Rishkar. It is. I mean, when you're running Metallic Mimic, or if you're running Kunjar, you get a couple extra counters there for Rishkar. Turn 2 Rishkar is not bad either. Just buffing up that Land of War Elf and going, hey, I'll make it. You miss Teamer energy? Yeah, I do too, Justin. I actually do. Let's jump into some gameplay. I guess point out the fact we've got Verdurskeer Hulk. Sideboard's really straightforward. I mean, we got a lot of toys to play with here. Silent Gravestone. I really like this card. Shuts down a number of strategies, including the Phoenix. A lot of people might overlook that. This, stops phoenixes. They do have to die the first time, but I mean we can shoot them out of the air with our sky ship here. I mean it's Sky Sovereign Console flagship. This I'm gonna hate to see this bad boy leave. Dev mentioned that man, this is actually the vehicle that I like the most. I love that style, that Glorybringer, style. But this is actually, if the format's full of little dudes, this is more devastating than a Glorybringer in a lot of decks. So Vivian Reed, I'm excited to play with Vivian. Vivian's good. Hey, Magic People says For the Horde. What's up, For the Horde? How you doing, buddy? All right, guys, let's jump into some gameplay. All right, let's check out this Elves deck. All right, let's jump in the queues, the competitive queues here. And see what happens. I'm sure I missed some call outs there. Tondu. What's up, Tondu? How you doing, buddy? Chris Peltier. I'm pretty sure I didn't call you out. Justin, I know you're here. I made a post on Patreon. Make sure you post a deck for you and one for your son, and we're gonna start running those out. I'm just gonna start it out with Rush's deck and go from there. I'm gonna keep this, guys. It doesn't look like the fastest hand in the world. Probably shouldn't keep it, but we've got a turn 2, a turn 3, and then of course we get into our Vanquisher's banner and we'll be doing some work. So blue deck, we might survive this. See that we even got a better turn 2 now. So I mean you can't have Land of War Elves every turn 1, So this looked like a decent hand for a game that didn't have a Land of War Elf. Hey, look, now we get a Land of War Elf, right? We'll throw down the Lieutenant. At least we can start crashing in a little bit here. And then next turn we can go Morrowind. Like, this may be a good Morrowind game. Blair Almighty says, Sideboard, I'm trying to get a Grixis Dragons deck on the go that runs a play set of Bolas, 3 Glorybringers, and 2 Lathliss. Lathliss can take over the game if you have other dragons. That card is just ridiculous. I like the sounds of it. I mean, dragons have put up the best performance other than knights. Knights clearly have the best performance right now as far as the tribes go. Man, now I want to just slam the Steel Leaf Champion, and I probably should. Wow. It's amazing how just drawing a Steel Leaf Champion can just change everything. So the original plan was to go Morrowind this turn, and then next turn Clan Caller and Land of War Elf. I think either way I want to just go ahead and do my 2 points of damage. And I think that we're looking at a Metallic Rebuke right here. So with that in mind, I'm really interested in actually casting Morrowind, and then trying to go that route, and then finishing with a Steel Leaf Champion. Because I think whatever I cast right now is going to get countered, and then next turn, if it does get countered, we just play the Steel Leaf Champion and go from there. So I think he has to counter the Morrowind. So we're gonna go this route. He did not counter the Morrowind. Okay. He's probably got enough to start bouncing on us. Oh man. Brawl's Expertise will be mean here. So we definitely Still Leaf Champion. And then Llanowar Elf. I think I back here. I could use the mana to play the Clan Caller and then just attack with the Thorn Lieutenant. But I I think just hiding the Clan Caller or the Vanquisher's Banner is going to be better. I really want to have some elf left after um, I play the Vanquisher's Banner. Wow. Wow. That's pretty serious. Another Ornithopter. That's a lot of life. Well, we've got four reclamation sages. We got four reclamation sages in the sideboard. Wow, come on, Mox Amber. Okay, opponent. So we're gonna go Elf, and I am going to tap it for 4. We draw a card. It's a land. And that's pretty much it. So we're just going to swing. I mean, he doesn't have good blocks. Losing Ornithopters is like losing card draw right now for him, so it baffles me every time you look at that card. Which card? She's holding a bow. For crying out loud. Is she holding a bow? She is holding a bow. You're right. Always look at that baby's blue eyes. Man. That's just like the focal point of that piece of art for me. That baby's eyes are just... I mean, we just keep swinging, right? I mean, we just play land. We need to cast an elf. I mean, he's gaining a ton of life. Next turn, he'll be able to cast all the things in the world. If he has a paradoxical outcome, it's going to be mean. I mean, this is still kind of mean. I think we do it this way, though. I mean, either one's just +1. So, I mean, let's think about it. To take this one out of combat, yeah, I think we're actually just pushing more damage by just playing Vanquisher's Banner as the Lord. And then just swing with everything. I mean, he can't block the Still Leaf Champion, so that's 8. Okay. This is close. Puts him with, what? 3? Yeah. What sideboard tech is good in Grixis against Still Leaf Stompy? Personally, I think that the Grixis decks need to be running the new land that allows you to remove hexproof. The Grixis decks are really it's actually more important than graveyard mechanics right now to be able to remove hexproof. We've got the Black Knights floating around that stops our fatal pushes and our Vraska's contempts. Then of course you have the Vine Mayor. Everyone's enemy number one if you're playing a blue black variant, and right now most of the Grixis decks are some kind of blue black variant. If you actually have a lot of red creatures, or your burn package is red, then you're not actually worried about something like Knight of Malice. So I mean, if you've got a bunch of Glory Bringers, then Knight of Malice is not a problem for you, and Vine Mayor is probably not a problem for you either. I mean, worst case scenario, you just put the brakes on a Glory Bringer and block with it. Whoa, whoa, blasphemy, right? Like blocking with a Glory Bringer? You don't do that. Anyway, so let's look and let's see what we have here to help against this deck. I don't think we're going to want Blossoming Defense. I mean, yes, he can bounce our creatures. I'm not overly worried about the bouncing of our creatures. This is a great Metallic Mimic plan. I don't think Aether Sphere Harvester is going to be great. Aether Sphere could be great, but just because it would be a flyer, to just get through his. To just give our dudes like pseudo haste, really. That would be the only reason I'd bring it in. But I actually think I'm going to shave the Aether Sphere Harvesters. And then I'm going to go for Naturalize. Naturalize just, giving us extra answers to destroy their stuff. And then, of course, the same thing for Vivian Reed. We'll just cut one Verdurous Gearhulk on the top end, bring in some more cheap dudes. We're going a little bit heavy on the 3 converted mana cost, so we're going to want to see a hand with a decent amount of land here, I think. Hey, another stream. What's up, Carter? It's a stream that you guys can probably hear the wiggles in the background. I know I can hear them, right? The wiggles. I'm a dad. I mean, what can I say? I mean, that's just kind of how it works, right? Okay, what's going on here, opponent? Sorry, I was looking at chat there. And Boros says your son recognizes the theme song. seems like a thing, man. Australian kids band, they're a hit. Okay, well, again, no turn 1 Atlanta War Elf. But man, this looks like a great hand. I mean, we can get out early with the Still Leaf Champion. I do think that we just need to try to turn 3 slam this. It may or may not be the right answer. He may have the counter spells. We'll just have to see how it goes. And then, of course, my turn 2 is going to be the Metallic Mimic. Prism. Well, we're definitely getting lands, which, is good. I'm going to go with the Metallic Mimic. Either one would buff the Still Leaf Champion. And I guess basically the next few elves I put down are automatically going to get targets painted on them for Brawl's expertise. Oh, no. No. Alright, well... You're tapped out, so... Aww. Me big Still Leaf Champion. Me no care about tiny little crane. I guess he's an elf. He wouldn't be dumb like that, right? I shouldn't have made that. Never mind. I shouldn't do that. All right. What tribal decks would worth being in big tournaments? I think we Elvish Clan Caller here and Thorn Lieutenant. Or should we hold more cards? Should we hold more? Or just go all out here? I mean, getting more things attacking next turn seems good. This is a 3/3 for 2 mana, or a 3/4 for 2 mana right now. Um, but I do want to have some elves. I mean, I've got two cards, 2 turns to draw some elves, so we'll go ahead and play this. Next turn, we're just going to play the Haship Oasis and crash in for, a million again. And at least we're producing, lethal attackers. There's a Land of War Elf. That's going to be really good. Just go ahead and try to get our Anthem down. Wow. I mean, no Metallic Rebuke. I mean, our opponent is stuck on 2 mana here. And I think that our deck's just going to kind of run over him. He can just block this if he wants, but that means that he's not chumping anything here. I mean, he can't chump the Steel Leaf Champion, but it's going to be hard for him to come back from this. There we go. Sweet. Not bad. Let's jump into another. We didn't even get to start playing like Reclamation Sages and stuff. But as far as tribal decks go, I mean, we've seen the dragons show up, but right now it's kind of the knights. Knights of Benalia, paired with a little bit of angel tech. There's the green-white angels are floating around. I see those as being very competitive. If you want to go to, your local F&M, something like that, you can have some really good runs with those the angels decks, and they're a lot of fun too. So. We've got a decent curve here. I'm going to keep this. This is going to be one of those curves where we try to run the Marwyn route, I guess. Ooh, are we against monsters? Bobby Suave. Okay, so this isn't horrible. I do think that we Marwyn next turn. I don't know. Should we Marwyn next turn or should we Metallic Mimic? I mean, Metallic Mimic before Marwyn. Wait a minute. It's when an elf enters the battlefield, right? This will enter as an elf, right? It's not cast as an elf, but it'll enter as an elf, correct? Let's see. As Metallic Mimic enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. Is the chosen type in addition to... Yeah. Okay, so it'll trigger Marwyn. So either way, Marwyn's going to get a +1/+1 counter on it for Metallic Mimic getting played. At least this way, turn 3, we can play both Mimics. Mimic into Mimic and then, and Rishkar if we want to. Jeez, that's going to be a lot. Because we could tap Marwyn. She'll have a ton of... Oh, never mind. We said this before. It's amazing how just drawing Steel Leaf Champion just changes the whole game plan. Now there's just nothing but... Oh. Well, that just trumped everything else we wanted to do. Yeah. Or we could just draw a Steel Leaf. There's a lot of things we could do. Or we could just draw a Steel Leaf Champion. I mean, now we get to do it. But now it's not as good. Now it's like, just play the Metallic Mimics, and they're still going to put the +1/+1 counters on the Marwyn. So either way, it's just not a bad play. Here we maximize mana. Yeah, let's do it that way. So play Metallic Mimic. Play Metallic Mimic. Call Elf. Pass. You want to braid one, maybe? Something? I honestly think our play last turn was better. We need a Lord. Ooh, that'll do. That will do. That will do very nicely. I think this is the best split. And the only... We really just need one on the Still Leaf Champion. Just to make sure that it lives through the Ripjaw Raptor. So we could put the other two here to start offering a trade with the Metallic Mimic. So I think I like that as well. So if we line up our counters like this, we have 5 toughness, 5 power, and 5 toughness. So I think we should do it this way. Yes. And then we'll just offer this trade. If he wants to make the trade here, he can. He's going to be letting 6 damage through. And then we've got a lot of 5s coming at him. So this was actually a really good draw. Like, we wanted to do all of these other things, and but it seems like, you know, Marwin's just not as good of a play as some of the other things we could be doing. I mean, we're still pushing a lot of pressure on the opponent here. I was worried about that. I was a little bit worried about that. We could have played around that by spreading our counters out. But here, we're just going to keep presenting lethal. So I'm just going to Rishkar. And considering I'm actually planning on like losing this Rishkar, I'm just going to bump my guys up a little bit more and keep crashing in. Now, it would make sense to block the Still Leaf Champion here, considering it doesn't have trample. And, you know, Elves have grown just kind of out of hand here in this game. We could use a couple extra land drops, so maybe we could cast multiple 3 drops, but I'm kind of happy with where we're at. I mean, that's multiple blockers. So, luckily he doesn't have any life, or he would be able to put like 2 in front of 1. I mean, we can just play Rishkar again. I think that we actually... Oh, yeah. This will do the trick. So, we'll just play the Rishkar. And we're just going to make sure that we choose Rishkar, and the Rishkar without haste. So we want to keep the old one. We're going to select the trample guy and Rishkar here for lethal. And swing with everything. He has 2 blockers. We're presenting 3 lethal attackers. And he's not even going to block. We're just going to go into sideboards. Okay. Well, probably since it's a 2-for-1 burn spell, man, I gotta stop reading from the bottom of chat, right? Um, let's see. These dinosaurs. I think we want to just keep like our blossoming defenses so that we can just kind of buff up. It might be beneficial to try to get in the air with Sky Sovereign, but I actually think we just want to remain larger, right? I mean, he's got a lot of big dudes, so we're just going to need a ton of anthems. Let's go with, dare I say, Heroic Intervention and a Life Crafter. Let's bring in one Sky Ship, just one against this Dino's deck. Yeah, like most of these dudes got like 4 power and things, but I mean, if we're dealing 3 damage to it and getting in the air, it could kind of line some stuff up for us. Elvish Clan Caller into Stillleaf Champion into Verdurous Gearhulk. Fill in 4-drop with something we draw. I'll keep. It's not a Land of War Elf fan, but it's not bad. We could always draw the Land of War Elf. This deck inherently has extreme card draw from Dragon's Horde. Oh yeah, you must be talking about the Dragon deck. I love how much card value you can get off of the Dragon Horde, man. It's great. I've gotten to play like 3 different Dragon decks from playing, the Subscriber Sunday, playing Dev's Dragon deck. Okay, we'll just pass. Playing Dev's Dragon's deck, playing the Naya Dragon deck. So there's a cool little list of dragons out there that are. I guess we just play this. I mean, we need to get it bigger, but oh well. I mean, we can't use the ability for a while, so. Ranging Raptors. Alright, well. Ooh. Alright. We still just drop the Stillleaf Champion here. I think just like the earliest you can play Stillleaf Champion, the better off you are. I mean, at least the Raptors can't block, but I mean, he can play a ton of enrage things to get more land, to play more big dudes that deal more damage. So we're definitely going to want to get, we're going to want to protect against enrage. Cartouche. Really? We're fighting, huh? Fight. Get a land. It's pretty good. Enraged Dinos. A lot of people were playing this on Arena when Arena first came out. Yeah, dragons, they like Sarkin really he shines in the dragons deck. I even got to ultimate him in the dragons games. Wow, really? Okay. I mean, we lose 1 here, right? Should we just call Construct? I mean, we could play 1, hold up the Blossoming Defense. Let's go to combat. We'll see if he has a combat trick. If he doesn't have a combat trick, then I'm probably just going to go Metallic Mimic, Metallic Mimic. I'm actually really, really tempted to call. I mean, just saving one of them next turn and then playing another, like calling Construct, just instantly makes this 5 power. If we play both, 1 lives anyway. We have our mana next turn. I actually want to call Construct. I mean, if he has the Enrage, like, we're not playing an Elf next turn. We're playing our Verter, Gearhulk, and Crashing. I think I'm just setting up for Construct. Probably going to regret this. So he kills one here. We keep a combat trick this way. Otherwise, we just play the one and use the combat trick to save it, and we still have one. Ooh, he doesn't have it? Alright. It's going to be a nice Gearhulk. As long as he doesn't have like a braid. Okay, so he's got... We know we need to put one here and one here. This already has 2, so it's a 6. So he would actually have to put 1, 2, 3... He would have to put all 3 in front of it to stop it. And the only reason I want to go 3 power on this one is so it requires either this one or 2 of these to block it. So I think I want to go this route with my counters. Just getting this up to 6 power also means that he has to put all 3 in front of it. And then he's taking a ton of damage. So I don't think we swing with this one. I mean, do we give him better blocks if we don't swing with this one? I mean, this one just gets eaten, right? He gets a free land. He chumps. Well, he can't block here. This can only block here. Which means he gets, yeah, he gets to just eat it with this dude. Okay, swing like this. So he's just going to take the 4. Sweet. That's not horrible for us. I mean, Ripjaw Raptor would be mean, but I mean we do have. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. Albatross, you still like the Black White Knights. You have a version that is filled with control and pacifism. Oh no. Passive Knights. Actually, I've always liked pacifism. Thopter Arrest is a really good card right now. And you see it get played a lot in the Knight stacks. I think Dev even put a couple copies in his cat stack. No! Not a Galta! That's gonna hurt. So can we set up a situation that if he swings back, we just win? So Galta blocks here. Eats this. We get through with 6. How does this work on the backswing if he swings at us? He can't get sideways with Galta, right? Like, do we just swing? Okay, so Galta blocks here. He blocks here, here, 6, 7. We get to keep these two. Galta blocks again. If we spin the Blossoming Defense, we survive, kill both blockers. He only has Galta to block. He blocks here. We get through with 7 plus Haship Oasis next turn. So we spin the Blossoming Defense this turn to kill his blockers. Pray that he just doesn't have anything, right? And then try to swing past Galta next turn. There's no way that works. He has to have something. He's got 3 cards in hand, right? Alright, so maybe he'll just swing. If he just swings with Galta, we might be alright. See, I really wanted to swing all. Well, this means bad things for us. Very bad things. Alright. We need a bunch of Elven Lords. Or more constructs. So this changes the math a lot if he swings with Galta here as far as blocking. Drover of the Mighty. So he's got a ton of blockers on the back end. Okay, let's see what he does. You ship him with Galta? I should have swung last turn, guys. I should have swung. So we're entering board stall? Is that where we're at? Can he make a bad swing? Will he make a bad swing? I don't know. I don't know if he will or not. So this is a human knight. This is a dinosaur. So Banefire. I don't think so. Okay. So he's shipping with Galta? We'll go to blocks. I mean, if he wants to get rid of it that bad. And then we're left with the construct, which we can pump to a 9/9 and swing. Or we could do that. Not punished for calling constructs. So do we get the rest of our boys to... I mean, is he holding another Galta? Is that what it is? Do we get the rest of our boys up to 5 power? I mean, if we go 1, 2... We would have... Man. It'd be too hard to do that, wouldn't it? I think we're better off just having really big dudes. A couple really big dudes. I mean, just getting this 1 to 9 power here doesn't seem bad. I mean, that's where my trample's at. So maybe 8. So 8 means that he still has to put multiples of these in front to kill it. So he has to put all 3 in front. Putting counters on the mimics mean that we could actually get this mimic into like a swingable situation. So I actually really like 1 counter here. But then again, you know, if we go 2 counters here and just run it like that, I mean, we actually have a mimic that can start trading with the Rager too. Man, like, let's do this. Let's just do it. I think that this allows us to put a lot more pressure, and now we get to get extremely aggressive. Like, not give him a chance to pull something that could save him. At least now, this Mimic can trade with any creature on the board. And then we still have a decent blocker on the back. Also goes well with our Haship Oasis to get through with whatever else comes our way next turn. Also, this will be lethal by itself, so if he does try to put multiple blockers in front of this, it's going to leave a lot behind. Make him 10 and swing. That might have been, you know, the right call. I don't think we would have gotten through with near as much. I mean, if he trades, right? I mean, we still kill everything this way. Now the Drover is only 1. He has to deal with everything on the battlefield because Haship Oasis will put him at lethal with any of our attackers. I mean, if he doesn't tap this, then of course, you know, we'll have to use one of the Gear Hulks or something. But he does need to deal with quite a bit here. Regisaur. Right. I mean, I get that. Like, you're guaranteed to get through. But I don't think that he would have put as many in front of it. I don't know. I mean, maybe that was the better play. I think that was a pretty good top deck. So we're swinging 18-24, and he scoops it up. Nice, nice. Yeah. We need a colorless way to deal with enchantments too. We do. We really do. Not relevant, but you know, we do need a colorless way to deal with enchantments. That would be really good for Grixis, because you know Grixis has just traditionally never been able to deal with enchantments. So, come on, Elves. Let's do some more crazy things. Crazy things. Great top decks. I mean, like, you know. Right, well, play to your outs, people. Play to your outs. That could have punished us so hard for, like, and I even said it. I'll probably regret calling constructs, but it was a chance. Constructs coming. Like, it was the best way to beat that deck is having, trample dudes, and it paid off. Icy Manipulator. Yes, Icy Manipulator is not a bad card. It really isn't. We would love to play first. Not really a great hand. I mean, whatever we play, I mean, we can protect whatever we play on turn 2 or turn 3. Seems bad though. I mean, it's a good hand if we're like going to draw into more elves and things like that. But this just doesn't like scream I've got enough power to take over the game here. I'm going to mulligan this hand. This still doesn't like, yeah. All right, whatever. I think I'll put that on the bottom. The other hand was probably better than this. Torment of Scarabs. If you can deal with everything else, then yeah, actually Torment of Scarabs is it will get there. I mean, you will start dealing with the permanents on the battlefield. It'll get to the point where they can't really take the 3 anymore. Like in the and when Arena first started, we didn't have all the cards for the blue-black decks and things like that. So we were trying a lot of other cards, and Torment of Scarabs actually paid off a lot. Look at this, green-black. They're almost elves. I mean, like, elves is actually... Man, I should just, like, wipe that out. Block this Thorn Lieutenant when he goes to swing. Like, what? What Thorn Lieutenant? What? I mean, I guess we're just going for Haship Oasis, Murderous Gearhulk, Rishkar. What if I gave it hexproof? You couldn't target it. No. That wouldn't work, by the way. That would not work. You're liking the Zombie Tribal deck right now. Zombie Tribal looks great. It's got a lot of top 8s, so, I mean, that's great. Aw. We can't do tricks. Can't stop that Thorn Elemental. Or Thorn Lieutenant. Well, we'll just keep playing our lands and passing the turn. Not cool. Just saying. Not cool. I really wish these would have said can only be cast on your turn instead of as a sorcery. Alright, that's he got there before we did. We're gonna just go ahead. We're not gonna reveal anything else to him, and we're gonna move on into the next game. Now I'm 100% bringing in these sages. I feel that he might have, a couple, creatures that or artifacts that might need to be popped, especially that the Murderous Gearhulk he just had. So he's green. I don't think he's going to be, interfering with my Metallic Mimics a lot. I think that Metallic Mimic's going to be good. I really want to see Vanquishers. I think that we're about to dig in for a long fight. So I don't want to lose Morrowind here. Rishkar might be the cut. Let's cut Rishkar. Let's cut Aether Sphere for Sky Sovereign, and then cut one Mimic. Yeah, let's go that route. Mimic's probably like the worst cut to make right there. Like it's probably just like 3 Reclamation Sages instead of 4, and then just keep the Mimic. I guess we just Thorn Lieutenant and start crashing. Or no, sorry, still leave Champion and start crashing. I don't know why I said Thorn Lieutenant, because I'm staring at 2 of them. Our turn 3 is going to be really good, double Thorn Lieutenant. So, assuming that he doesn't have his black mana turn 1 and just like Fatal Push and then you know, our plan just, goes. Cray. Just cray. You cray. Um, yeah. Boom. Are we getting there? Let's find out. I mean, next turn we're double lieutenant. He's got legs, Dan. He's got legs. This card apparently is going up in value. Ooh. Alright, so 100% Metallic Mimic first. Call the elf. Play the elf. I mean, we get to swing anyway here. So, like, all of our information's already been decided anyway. Like, we know he's not blocking. We know we're not using any other creatures. So we can just play straight through there. Get that F6 value. So what if zombies are exiled? They need to take care of them 2 times. That's right. Graveyard Marshal is so good for a late game dig. You start getting these lords out that are actually really hard to deal with anyway. Liliana can instantly be, like you can instantly down tick Liliana, which is just terrific. What do we have here? I mean, we're taking life somewhere here. And then, like, we'll just pay 1 point of life and we'll cast the Thorn Lieutenant. Blossoming Defense. Ooh. He's wanting to get some here. You want to just eat my... Okay. Alright. We'll play another. And then if we get a land next turn, we can activate Thorn Lieutenant. Or we just pump it anyway. He scoops. He scoops. He doesn't score. Yay. Alright, so yeah, let's back off the Rec Sage. 1 Rec Sage there. And yeah, just put our Mimic back in. I think Lords is going to be the way we go here. Just all the anthems and all the anthems all the time. Couple Rec Sages, just hang on to those for the Gear Hulks. Amonkhet Lily isn't that good in Zombie Tribal. You're right. The other Lily is she lets you just cast zombies from the graveyard. So you play her, you uptick her. You have zombies, so you kind of you have ways to protect her. You just got to hold off a turn, and then like you down tick her, and then you just play everything that's already died, and it's glorious and wonderful. And we need a land, or we're gonna die. I'm gonna keep though. This is a beautiful hand, very expensive hand, but we do have a 2-drop, 3-drop, good 2-drops and 3-drops. We'll see if he has his. There's a land, painful land, but we got there. Right. 5 mana is also reserved. Like, I tried to run the Scarab God, and even that was rough. So, like anything that's off of that zombie aggro plan is just, it's kind of rough. I mean, it really is. Um, so, I mean, if we Metallic Mimic this turn... Yeah, I'll Metallic Mimic this turn. I mean, we can just hang on to the Thorn Lieutenant for later. Call Constructs, right? Call Constructs on my Vanquisher's banner like a boss. No. I don't know if that would be like a boss or not. Like, that would probably be anti-boss. Still good creating a zombie with... here and you have... Yeah, it's like the one reason I wanted to play... Wow. That's... Man, I wish I had a Goblin Chain Whirler. And there's a Still Leaf. There's a Still Leaf. He's a champion. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of a beating off this Steel Leaf Champion until we get where we need to be. But we're going to put ours down, and I think we just have to outgrow this elf deck and just pray we have the tools to do so. So we're not chumping. We're not trading. We're not interested in trading. Next turn, we're looking... There's a Rishkar. What does that do? Maybe we should be interested in trading. Just bam, done. 1 for 1, card's gone. Move on. And then we'll try to get there with our Sky Sovereigns. And maybe that should be the plan. Offer trade. This feels like a Blossoming Defense blowout. I think we get blown out by Blossoming Defense here. Oh man, yeah, I think we just take the 6. Right, like our turn 5, we're going to be coming back here. We're going to be Verdurous Gear Hulking and getting large enough. Like it's probably just going to be like 2 counters, 2 counters. We're going to be able to make Thorn Lieutenant block him. We're going to have a lot of options available to us, assuming we get in that 5th land. Like, we're still a turn off of an Anthem. Like, so we're looking at another hit. So, Haship Oasis, Lana War Elf, Thorn Lieutenant, I'm pretty interested in just swinging for 6 here. I mean, we can hold off the army of Llanowar Elves here and just prepare to take the... The Land of War that's a 2/2 and a land of 1/1s is king. Come on. I mean, we can block the Rishkar here. If he does have the Blossoming Defense, that'll be a worthy trade. Just go ahead and let him make that that block. It won't be a trade though, will it? No. Jeez. Is this a Gear Hulk? It's a Gear Hulk. Oh, why did he pay life? Gigantosaur. Well, that's a thing. Yeah. It's a giant freaking monster. We can chump it. Chump for days, right? Okay, so let's say we are playing the chump block mode, right? We Verdurous Gear Hulk. Alright, so we've got 5 mana and we've got 5 really good things to do here. Or 3 really good things to do. So Verdurous Gear Hulk, we place some counters. We can get... And we can chump this. We can just put Mimic in front of it 1 turn. Or does he just say this is going to be my wall? And if he does that, then the quicker we get to swinging with Skyship, the better off we are. We can just kill Rishkar here with Skyship and just sit back and say, hey, you still have to stop us in the air. That means we would probably be chumping. I guess we... Jeez. I mean, Vanquisher's Banner gives us a lot more options on chumping against the Steel-Leaf Champion. I really want to get the Skyship down. I think getting the Skyship down and then just like taking my beats for a turn is going to be like my only way out here. I mean, him turning everything sideways next turn is going to be a little bit mean. So we'll play Gear Hulk next turn. Pump whatever's left on the battlefield after attacks here. What's up, Jareth Miles? How you doing, buddy? You're late. Well, YouTube's got replay, man. Yeah. Okay, so there's the Blossoming Defense we were expecting earlier. I mean, at least that doesn't get used in a crazy situation against us. I mean, this is the point where, like, so I'm glad I just took those points of damage and didn't trade my Steel-Leaf Champion because I would have lost. Alright, so those aren't coming at us. Don't be another Gigantosaur. Haship Oasis. Does not give trample. Does not give trample. Heart of Kirin. That's a thing. Do we leave ourselves dead to... We'll move to blocks. Do we leave ourselves dead? So if we trade here, we crew here, we swing 9. So let's just put the Mimic in front of that. He could still have a Blossoming Defense. If we take this, I think he's dead on Crackback. We're dead to Blossoming Defense here, though. Let's do it. You got a Blossoming Defense? Show us your last card is Blossoming Defense. It was not Blossoming Defense. Okay. So we know we're swinging 6 in the air. I like making all of these big enough to kill the Heart of Kirin. But the whole point is 6 in the air. So he blocks 6 in the air. We got 7. And then anything else that's left is we need 4 to come through. And all of these would be attacking for 4. So any way he lines it up, he's looking at taking 11 damage. So I think this is the right counters. We crew with our Gear Hulk. And then we get to combat and do exactly... No, wait. We'll actually do like 4 points more than lethal here. Because he can only block the 1 and we get... Oh, yeah. Alright. Sorry. I'm accounting for an extra blocker. The deck's just more powerful than that. My bad. We're going to attempt to burn that. So, I mean, he can go ahead and like tap it for mana or he can tap it. But doing it now means that he can't just like, I don't know, do something else with it. Like he can't use it for mana. If he wants to blossoming, like if he had a blossoming defense, we were dead to it last turn anyway. So he goes to block. He blocks 7. He takes a billion. Right? Right? Huh? Brendan Hall, good evening. That's a big dino? What big dino? I didn't see a big dino. I seen a big construct. I seen a big elf. It was a big dino. Gigantosaur. Gigantosaur was huge, right? Well, what do you guys think about the Elves deck? I mean, no, we weren't playing against like the most competitive decks, but we went 3-0 in the competitive leagues. So we were, or not in the leagues, in the queues. We were in the queues, so it wasn't like we were just playing in tournament practice. So yeah, Elves, Dev's deck, Elves, not bad. Unfortunately, I actually think Marwyn might be an open slot. Like even the times where it was good, like there was just other things that were good too. Marwyn wasn't bad though. I'm sure there's going to be some lines where you're going to want to get into Marwyn when you actually get the Vanquisher's banner and things like that out. We've seen almost all the cards in the deck do good things. Aether Sphere Harvester, we didn't run into red decks or anything like that, so it didn't really overperform. But I think that's just because of matchups. So I don't think I would take it out or anything like that. Love the 3 Verdurous Gearhulks here in Elves. Seems to be that that little pinch of spice right there on the top that just kind of sets everything off. So love the Verdurous Gearhulks. Just a terrific card. I will say that I believe this deck would probably fall a little bit shy to, the Scarab God. You would need those Silent Gravestones. So, like, maybe upping the number of Silent Gravestones in the deck might be worth doing, just because, like, of how much it hurts for the opponent to get back a Verdurous Gearhulk. That's max value. I mean, the Verdurous Gearhulk is a 4/4. They're getting it for a 4/4. You still get the end of the battlefield triggers on it. It still has trample. I mean, it's like bringing back a Glory Bringer. It's still a Glory Bringer. It's just no longer a dragon, so other Glory Bringers can now hit it. Anyway, yeah. I really like the deck. Dev did a really good job with this one. Elves have always kind of held that special place in my heart because like my first Elves deck, or my first tribal deck, was an Elves deck, which I've said many times in Zendikar. That was the first time I ran tribal, was an Elves deck, and I loved it. I really enjoyed playing the deck. Played it all the way up until it rotated out as one of my favorite decks. And Draga, Warcaller, and Orden Reef the Vast Wood. That was a real land, ladies and gentlemen. That land, whew. Yeah, talk about a powerhouse. I'm going to play 3 Elves, tap Orden Reef. They all get counters. Yep. They all came in this turn. Done. Hey, it happens. Anyway, Elves have traditionally been much more powerful than we see it right now, and that's probably why a lot of people are like, nah, I don't know if Elves is playable or not. But I actually believe that this elf deck is very close to being on the competitive side. Mono Green's got a lot of things going for it. You could probably even do some light splashing. I would try to stick with, if you are going to splash into the green deck, stick with either the green blue or the green black, just because you have the fast lands there, the botanical sanctums and things like that. You don't want to try to splash this and not have that access to turn 1 Land of Werewolves play. Like, that would be the worst thing in the world, is to have their Land of Werewolf, have the Still Leaf Champion, and then not have an untapped land to be able to play that Land of Werewolf. So I really think that if you're going to play the multicolors, you need to make sure that those first 3 turns you got your lands coming in. No, I just don't really like the land situation in red green. I mean, yeah, you can get away with it, but you're going to run into the same problem I had with green blue. Or sorry, not green blue, but blue black, where you're wanting to play these 1-drops and you're just not getting them off. Now, I will say that that there's only Land of War Elves here. So more times than not, when you play this deck, unless you're just on fire or you're mulligan to a Lano, you're not going to start turn one with a Land of War Elf. So like I believe that the 3 drops in this deck are probably a little bit heavy, and I probably would cut at least 1 Marwyn, if not 2, to just make a little bit more room for something else a little bit earlier in the curve. Kunjar is really, really good, guys. Like, I was really impressed by that card and how that card's going to line up against, like the red decks and the Goblin Chain Whirlers. I mean, you play a turn 1 Land of War Elves, you play a turn 2 Kunjar, you're actually protecting your Land of War Elves, things like that. So, was it Seed Cultivator or something like that? So that might be something to think about if you guys are going to run the Elves deck and things. But I really, really like the Vanquisher's banners here. A little on the fence about all 3 now that I've played with the Verdurous Gearhulks. There was a lot of times where we just really didn't have elves. We had other things that we were going to be casting, so never did we really get into the situation where we're going to be able to leverage those Vanquisher's banners, but yet we were still putting a lot of threats down and things like that. We did find ourselves in situations where Vanquisher's Banner was actually cheaper than actually just casting another Elvish Clan Caller or something like that, or triggering another Elvish Clan Caller. So I do like the Anthem effect of Vanquisher's Banner, but I think that you could probably do it with a little bit of diversity here, and maybe even be able to run some Immortal Suns or something like that. But other than that, deck was a lot of fun. Man, it really was. I had a lot of fun playing it. I don't think that we need like all 4 Aether Sphere Harvesters. It's probably another slot that we've got to be able to dedicate a little bit more of an answer to Rekindling Phoenixes and the Scarab God, which this does really, really well. Remember the token that comes back from Rekindling Phoenix, it actually has to target a Rekindling Phoenix in the graveyard. So if the cards can't be the target of a spell or an ability, then they're not going to be able to get that Rekindling Phoenix back. So this will shut down the Phoenixes as well. So if you don't actually have graveyard recursion mechanics or something like that, then Silent Gravestone is going to be great. Other than that, guys, everyone have fun playing the deck. Servant of the Conduit. Actually, Servant of the Conduit is probably, in the long run, a little bit better than Metallic Mimic. Now, I know that we had some great Metallic Mimic plays and things like that, but I think that Metallic Mimic's just probably not where we want to be at least not with like a 4 of or something. Speaking of which, someone else is saying the problem with Servant is that we already have 12 2-drops, Mimic, Collar, Lieutenant. Like, if you're going to bring Servant in, he's right. You do have to start cutting off some of your other 2-drops, and I think that we could probably get away with cutting down like 2 Metallic Mimics. We see this play a lot in the Zombies decks where they have a lot of Lords and things like that, and Vanquisher's Banner is just it's a fine 5-drop anthem for us. No, it's not giving us more elves, but our elves are so cheap to cast that we might actually be able to churn through the deck with it. So it's not quite as good as running like Liliana's Mastery, but we see those decks also just running a few Metallic Mimics. So we might want to cut back a couple of Metallic Mimics, make room for a couple other cheap elves. I don't really think that you need the Servant of the Conduit. I mean, I know that's an elf. I know it's a 2/2 body, but I don't really think that you need the Servant of the Conduit. And I think that I really do like Kunjar. Maybe splitting Metallic Mimic 2 and 2 with a Kunjar. Like a lot of time, the Metallic Mimic's just going to eat a bullet so quick that just getting the value and maybe even the low keyness of the Kunjar is actually going to play through. I do like it. I mean, when they're spinning their removal spells on Metallic Mimics and things, that might actually be what you need to take the heat off of your Land of War Elf. But Kunjar being able to put a +1/1 counter on your Land of War Elf the turn after it comes down, like you play it on turn 1, you don't know what you're playing against. You go, oh, hold up, wait a minute, there's red deck right there. They turn 1 red deck, and you go, okay, now wait a minute. I don't have a Stillleaf Champion. I do have Kunjar, I have Metallic Mimic. So, like, let's take Stillleaf Champion out of the equation, because if you have the Stillleaf Champion, you slam the Stillleaf Champion, and you don't care if they Goblin Chain Whirler or not and kill your Land of War Elf. The damage has been done. But if you don't have the Still Leaf Champion and you're faced with a decision, between, a Metallic Mimic or a Kunjar, you're more, let's pull that up. Let's pull that card up real quick. So, um, okay. So Kunjar, when it enters the battlefield, it's going to give you that +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. You're just going to select, your land of War Elf, and because it's a 1/2, you're just going to like survive through, and then you're going to make some extra, benefit from like your Elvish clan callers and things like that. So I see a lot of like value with like maybe running the deck, somewhere along these lines. The Aether Sphere Harvester is really good. Again, I think that was just. I think it was just because we didn't run into a lot of red deck. I would probably cut one of the Marwins, and if I did anything with that, it might just be more Conjars, or just the 1 mana Death Touch guy, just to give you an extra body there. But I really do like. I really do like this card. Like, this card seemed like it would be really, really good, and you don't have a lot of 1 mana plays. So, like, maybe even on turn 2 when you don't have your Still Leaf Champion combo here, you play a 2 mana creature and keep up a Blossoming Defense. If you don't like the Kunjars, you can actually just run a Blossoming Defense and just leave a mana open and go, okay, well, if you go to kill my Land of War Elves, I'm going to tap my Land of War Elves, pay 1 mana, and Blossoming Defense it. So, like, if you just wanted to run 4 Blossoming Defense instead of more Kunjar, you could do that. But that's like the only thing I would add to the deck. I love the deck. Elves seems so sweet. I think that you guys will have a lot of fun playing it if you decide to take it to like a Friday Night Magic. We just faced off against 3 pretty decent decks and had some really interesting games, but still just kind of trudged right on through there. I mean, it seemed really good. It's got good answers in the sideboard. Don't really know how much we need Heroic Intervention, but maybe. I don't know. I think the deck is going to be able to rebuild really well, against, those board wipe decks and things like that because of cards like, Lifecrafter's Bestiaries and, Vanquisher's Banner. So, really cool deck. Dev, if you did watch this, man, you did an awesome job with it. If you guys want to try to play it yourselves and you don't have the cards in paper, remember that you can sign up for Manatraders if you're not already. Manatraders is a rental service, and they will let you, use the cards. Once you're done, you turn the cards back in, pay a flat rate. I think that this entire deck came out to like $38 or 38 tickets on Manatraders. So the smallest package of Manatraders will let you play with the Elves deck. And as you guys just seen, we had 3 really good games there. So I mean, you can be competitive with Elves. I definitely think that. I think this deck's got a lot of legs and it's got a lot of power. So just finding that perfect dial on the numbers is going to be where we need to be. So. Jan, Shadow, Salvete, everyone else in chat, guys, thanks for coming out tonight. I had a lot of fun. My name's Eric. You've been watching SideboardMTG here on YouTube Gaming. I hope you had a lot of fun, and we're going to see you next time.